Car insurance in 2025 is getting so ridiculous that some people are literally choosing between paying their rent or paying their monthly insurance bill. And I'm not exaggerating. Some are 350, 420, 600. I've seen it as high as 1,000. It just depends on a lot of factors. I mean, my fiance, she had a couple accidents and different things, and um, I'm trying to think of what else. She hit a deer, and also there's a couple different things she did, and it raised. I mean, some people were wanting as high as 1,000 for it. I can't remember. I wish I had her right here and now because I can't remember exactly, but I know it was a ridiculous amount. I've been as high as 600 before. So car insurance can get really high. It just depends on your history. And it could also depend on a lot of other factors. What car you get. If you get an expensive car, a cheap car. But most of the time it's going to be pretty expensive. I mean, mine got up there. But let's get into it. This guy, I believe, was trying to get a quote for insurance.
So I went and called and got some insurance quotes for my car.
And I did not change the camera. Hang on. I ain't no professional at this. Hang on.
Really screwed.
So I went and called and got some insurance quotes for my car today, and I noticed they were like abnormally higher than what I've currently been paying. I'm like, well, you drive a lot. I never told you how much I drive, which I've done a lot of driving in the beginning part of the year. And they're like, well, when you go to the dealership and you get oil changes, because my car's still under warranty, because I will get it done while it's under warranty, they're like, yeah, well, the dealership logs your mileage, and we can see that.
And that's if they could view everything. If they could literally watch you drive, they would. They're going to try to get as much money out of you as possible. They do not want to pay up when you get into an accident or need them. If insurance companies can get around making you pay more, they're going to do it. They're going to try. They have a lot. They make a lot of money. They're going to use every resource they have to make you pay more money so they don't have to pay out in the end. Or it's less they have to pay in the end, I guess, if that makes sense.
Of course you can. Y'all know everything. Everything. What?
Insurance companies are watching you through social media. I started my day earlier.
Now, this is something I never even knew. I didn't know they could even watch you through social media, or I feel like that'd be so much resources just to go through and watch everything you post, or like try to find that info. Like, I feel like that'd be take too many people, but apparently it's out there and they're doing it, so be careful what you post and just be careful, I guess. I didn't know they did this.
By reading a new client denial, and it was entirely about social media surveillance. So, what I'm talking about today is how insurance companies are using social media to deny disability claims. They don't just look at Facebook and Instagram, they're digging into websites you probably didn't think of, like Venmo, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and they're even doing Google searches. They're looking for pictures of dinner. They're looking at photos where your friends may have tagged you from several years ago, and they will use it against you.
Auto insurance rates keep going up. In fact, they've gone up 36% since January of 2020, according to the data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And although that 36% increase definitely sounds bad, it's even worse when you consider that 20% of that was just in the last year. And judging by
that's a high increase. Yeah.
the data, it doesn't look like we'll be seeing the rates come down anytime soon either. As of now, according to Bankrate, the average cost of full coverage car insurance in the United States is $2,544 per year, while minimum coverage is $740 per year. Breaking that down monthly, it's $212 for $64. But why? Why is auto insurance going up so high? Well, the answer is a lot simpler than you might think. For starters, auto insurance rate started rising dramatically as the price of vehicles went up. But what made it so much worse was that while vehicles went up, many people decided to repair their vehicles instead of replacing them. And that caused a rise in demand for parts and an increase in labor rates as well as part shortages, which means insurance has to go up to cover those costs.
So my insurance, I had to have full coverage for my new car. And at first it was around 200 and something. I want to say 250. I can't remember. And mine slowly went down through the years, but I had to switch a couple times because all of a sudden it would just jump up, and they would just tell me it's rising costs and stuff, that it's just something normal that happens, and I call BS on that, but they tell me it's rising costs, so I end up having to switch. I switched several different times because of it to different companies and all sorts of stuff, and for the most part mine stayed around 200, 250. And then I got a ticket because you know me, I'm speeding. I speed all the time. No, I was speeding there for a little bit and I got caught, which I learned my lesson on that. The ticket I got was not cheap, so. And it eventually caught up to my insurance company, which that wasn't cheap either. So if I had any recommendation, follow all the traffic laws, because I hate tickets. But my insurance went up. They were going to bring it all the way up to $600, which was ridiculous. Like, I had a heck of a time finding one that was cheaper. I eventually found one that was around $300, which I went with for a while, and after a couple years it went back down to $200. But oh my god, like, one little ticket, I mean, I was going fast, but it wasn't nothing crazy. It was 70 and a 55, and it bumped it up a good bit, but I want to say it was 70 something, but it's still, I was going too fast either way. But just that little thing bumped it up to that much. So I can only imagine if you got into an accident and it was your fault, you might as well just quit at that point, because I can only imagine what it would bring it up to. But the cost is just insane anymore. Because before that, I was going year by year without nothing. Like, that adds up after a while. I'm basically making a car payment, and it's all just going to this company, and I'm getting nothing in return pretty much. Besides, hopefully they'll cover me. And if they don't, I'm screwed.
Us.
Why are insurance companies a scam? I just got off the phone with AAA and they
$840 a month on insurance. Like, I couldn't even imagine paying that. There's no way I'd be able to pay it. I'd be homeless and have nothing if I had to pay $840 a month on insurance. Like, right now we're paying almost, I think it's almost a $1,500 mortgage payment. I couldn't imagine paying that plus the car payment. Like, that was more than my car payment. That's insane.
They said if I wanted to get my own insurance for a Tesla, it'd be $840 minimum a month. That and the monthly payment, I was like, I might as well just get an M3. I said, hell no. And then if I were to put it under my parents' name, it'd be only $200, $220. That is just wild to me. We need to get back on these insurance companies for scamming all these people, or at least give some money back at the end of the year if nothing happens.
Right. That's something I agree with. Like, if we do good for the whole year, no accident, no tickets, nothing, give us a little bit of change at the end. Like, come on. You do it, or cut my bill in half. I'd take that. My bill cut in half the next year. Heck yes, I would take that. Sign me up.
Like, this is ridiculous.
I'm always astounded by the insane positions that insurance companies will take. Here's the one that's got me, like, crashing out today. I have a client who comes to a full stop at a red light, does what they're supposed to do, waits for the light to turn green, enters the intersection, and then is involved in a crash with a big straight truck that is coming coming across from his left and runs a red light. And we know that that is what happened because the police officer who investigated the crash noticed that this is rare in South Carolina, but there were actually cameras up on the pole. I talk to the insurance company, and the insurance company tells me we are putting 25% fault on your client. Okay? My client, by the way, goes to the emergency room, goes to the ICU, has very severe injuries. And the insurance company is telling me for every $100 of medical bills your client has incurred, we're only going to offer $75.
Wow.
Right? We're putting 25% of the blame on your client. Why? Because he didn't look out enough for somebody running a red light.
So I got a story about this. I actually have almost the exact same story, but mine ended up good. So I recently, I think it was this summer, I was in an accident. And I went to get pizza for supper because we love pizza. They're doing a bunch of construction down that road and stuff. And of course, the pizza place is right next to this red light. So I turn into the pizza place, get the pizza, and so I come out of the pizza place, and you turn left to get in line to then turn left again to get onto the intersection. Now I'm the first, of course I had to be the first person to get to the light, right? And I have my blinker on, I'm turning left. I get 2 green arrows and 2 green lights, which means the people in front of us have to hold because it gave me a green arrow to turn left, and the people to my right can still go straight. Well, it's only me and a bunch of people behind me turning left. So I get to these green arrows, and I go, and as I'm going, I just happen to look right, and as I did, this car coming full speed hits me in the back end of my car. She runs the red light and hits my car. I don't know if anyone's ever been in an accident, but that was my first accident. Airbags went off, there was smoke everywhere. My car was dead in the water. I was just rolling. It was able to roll to the side of the road. To get to the end of the story anyways, when the insurance company was looking into this, they asked me a million questions. They wanted me to basically tell them down to the second how many seconds it took me before I seen her, from the time I seen her to the time she hit me. Like, they wanted to know every little detail. And I'm just guessing, like, I just got in an accident. Everything was happening in slow motion, but at the same time, I can't tell time. Like, that's a ridiculous ask for me. But I realized they're just trying to find information so that they can pay less. They don't want to be responsible for the whole debt. Even though it wasn't my fault, it was their client's fault. They didn't want to pay me. They wanted to see if there was any wiggle room, any little bit of wiggle room to put the blame on me. Which is insane. Like, just hearing, like, I had a police report and everything. I had the police there, and they looked at the damage and stuff. She tried to tell them that she was coming, it was a head-on collision, that she was coming from straight. Which, even if she was coming from straight, she still ran a red light. But the damage is on the side. My damage ain't on the front. Hers is on the front. She's out there, or the construction people are out there picking up pieces of her car. So the officer knew it was bogus, and he put in the report what happened. But they didn't want to look at the report. They wanted to get her side of it before they could make a determination. They didn't even want to look at the police report. So, basically the whole story is, be careful. They're going to try to get you as little money as possible. Luckily, I wasn't injured. I didn't have to go to the hospital. She was alright. She didn't have to go to the hospital. She was actually able to drive her car away. Mine, guess what? Mine was totaled. I was screwed out of a car. And it was a brand new car. It was a hybrid. I loved that thing. It was great on gas. I paid a lot of money a month for it, which I'll get into that in another video. But basically, they're going to try to rip you off. And that's basically what they're doing for this guy, only they're actually saying that he's 25% liable, which I couldn't even imagine. If I was 25% liable, I'd have been screwed. Absolutely screwed.
Today I decided to finally check my mail before I went into work and tell me how I have a piece of mail from my insurance company. My insurance company, by the way, is Liberty Mutual. That's what I've been using for the past like 2 or 3 years. On this mailer that they send out, they said that all premiums, once the renewal happens, are going up 25%. Ooh. Maybe this is a sign for me to shop around and see what else is out there, but this is absolutely crazy. What I've been telling so many of you guys, it's almost harder to get insurance than actually getting an approval on a car. When you go in to get a car loan, pay stub, run your credit, boom, approval. But for insurance, they want freaking $1,500 down to start a policy or...
Now, I never had to put any money down. I never heard of that. But I mean, I have heard of it, but I've never personally experienced it. But I have experienced the increase. They've increased before. I just shop around, find the best one, and go with it. Just depends. I mean, it's crazy the amount these places charge anymore.
Or they need driving history to see if you're capable of being on the road. It's just crazy. Insurance has also been one of my biggest deal killers. Customer loves the car, they agree on payment, we're good to go on all the terms, but then when they go to get an insurance quote, because they're first-time drivers, policy's $1,500 due today.
Yeah, it's crazy because even if you get insurance and stuff, they can still deny you and screw you over. It's absolutely ridiculous anymore. All I got to say about it is just be careful who you go through. Do your research. Shop around for sure. Don't just drop on one or stop on the first one you see and say, well, it's good enough. There's definitely cheaper ones. I mean, I've been with several different companies just because it's just never ending. But I think that'll do it for this video. If you like the channel, support me, subscribe, like the video, give me some feedback on what else you guys want to see. I'd like to do more of this. I enjoy reacting to stuff, helping people, you name it. I also do a gaming channel. It's D7_gaming. I don't post as often on it as I'm probably going to with this channel, but it is there. If I get the time, I'll post a lot more. But as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace!